Good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel, and this is my $1 million story, where I'm working on building my first $1 million of net worth by the end of 2023. All right. I am excited to announce that today is the first day of the Forge, my 100-day challenge, or the 100-day challenge that I am participating in with a friend who is the creator of that. The name, because the idea is something that a lot of people have been doing for a while. Now, I am super excited. Today's day number one for me. I've said this before. Friday is actually the kickoff of the event, but I wanted to normalize my weeks for all of the weeks in the challenge. And so that's the reason why I'm going to be starting today a little bit earlier than everybody else. My first set of goals for this week, I don't think that in this video I'm going to outline all of them, but the main focus that I have is getting a schedule and a routine set up for daily eBay chores. So things like listing items every day, for reviewing my backlog of items and making sure that all of my inventory is healthy, etc. Making sure that in general my store is as active and as healthy and thriving as possible. So what checklist of things should I be doing every day for that? I'll be setting that up, outlining that, and then figuring out how in the world I'm going to be accomplishing more things every day. The second thing that's really critical that I figure out soon is rebranding my store. So currently I have a gendered brand. It's called Daniel's Drastic. I wasn't going to say this, but I guess I will, so I might as well. Daniel's Drastic Discounts. So I wasn't going to mention it, but then I decided just now that I was going to actually share the new name, and so I might as well share the current name. Daniel's Drastic Discounts is what it's called. I chose that name because I didn't care much to spend the time to pick out a great name when I was starting a year ago. I just wanted to get started with the store, start selling things, find out if I was going to make a business from this before I worried too much about the name. Now on eBay, the name isn't super critical, honestly, but I do want something simple and relatively memorable and easy to type and remember and all those things. So I'm going to be working on rebranding this week as well, picking a new name, finding something that I can use across different spaces, and we'll go from there. Now, the third thing that I want to be doing today is tasking out all of the goals or stories that I have for this week. So I have a list of items that I want to accomplish. Now I want to go through that list and figure out what are all the different tasks I need to do to accomplish those items. That doesn't take too long. Usually I can go through that pretty quickly, but I do want to finish that today, as today is the first day of our week-long iteration. Or my week-long iteration anyway. Now those are the things that I want to do. The next thing that I want to do this morning is talk a little bit about a thought that I've had, and it is absolute personal responsibility. So what do I mean by absolute personal responsibility? It means that no matter what your situation, no matter what your circumstance, no matter what happens to you or because of you, you take complete responsibility for that. Now, I know that there are exceptions to this. I know that there are extreme circumstances and extreme cases where you clearly don't have responsibility. One example of that would be, I think, when I was 17 years old, I was in a car accident with a couple friends, okay? I was driving the car and we were hit head on by a drunk or an impaired driver who crossed a bunch of traffic and hit us head on. Now, I don't think in that situation that I was responsible. We were out late at night. I mean, there's all these things that maybe older people would use as reasons why we were responsible, right? We were out at around midnight. Goodness, I was 18 years old, not 17 years old. See, this is what memory does to you. I was 18 years old, but we were out late at night and we were just going out to, not joyriding, but we were going out to get a meal past midnight. And the truth of the matter is we could have fixed that, right? But the fact remains, in my opinion, that I was not at all responsible for what happened there. Now, shift that a little bit. The passenger in my car, a really close friend of mine, was hurt significantly worse than I was. And it was a really, really bad experience for him. He carried far less responsibility for what happened than I did, because I was driving, right? I don't have a memory of what happened in the accident, but because of what I've been told about it, and because of what it seems happened in the accident, I don't think there was opportunity for me to swerve and miss the other car, or to somehow pull off a miracle and not have been hit. But imagine being the passenger in the vehicle now. It's far less likely that the passenger could have done anything to mitigate that. Again, except for perhaps not going out that night to begin with. So again, barring these extreme situations where you're not responsible at all, I want to take full responsibility for everything that happens to me. That means if a relationship goes bad, that's my responsibility. I want to assume that there's always something that I could have done differently and better to have saved that relationship. It means if business transaction fails, that was my fault. It means if my car crashes, it was my fault. If my car breaks down, that was my fault. If I am angry, it's my fault. If I'm frustrated, it's my fault. If if I'm fat, clearly that's my fault, right? So I want to take full responsibility. And the reason for that is, if I don't take responsibility, if I don't internalize those things as my doing, that I have power over them, that I have no chance of ever fixing them or avoiding them or correcting them in the future. And that is something that I won't accept. I want to be in control of my life. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this as a solution for you. Probably it is, but I don't want to say that I know what's happening in your life. What I do want to recommend, though, is that you think about it. Take some time to consider it as a possibility in your life. And I believe that great things will come from you taking personal responsibility for the things that happen in your life. Good morning, Jojo.
Good morning.
All right. So thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you for all the support and help and everything that you do for me. I appreciate you being there and the comments that you write. Mostly you, Kevin, because I think everybody else has not commented. Anyways, have a great day. Good luck with all your goals, and I will see you tomorrow.